welcome to a new video. Today we are going to compare the WWE FIGS INC Big Gold. This one's from 2006. The Fandu LUXE Big Gold Dual Plated, just from last year. And the newly released WWE Shoprine, as it's been called. Or the WCW Big Gold, if you want to call it that. Alright, so we'll get into a bit of a comparison. So, first thing I'd like to start with is the nameplates. So I don't know if anyone's aware that some of these nameplates are actually compatible with each other. So the old FIGS INC one, these ones, I do believe I got this one from WWE Shop. This is way back in the day. This is probably 15 years ago. They used to do custom made ones, so I do have one with my own name on it. This is the Undertaker one. These obviously are quite thin. Got two little bolts there in the back. So when you take that one off, you turn it over and look at those bolts. This is the new Shoprine one. Pop that one off. Flip it over. Put the two together. There you go. They line up. It has got different bolt threads, obviously. That one's the standard W Replica ones, and that's the older one. So you can see the bolts aren't compatible, they are different. So you do have to take your bolts from your FIGS and put it onto your Shoprine. So we'll try putting the FIGS INC one on. There you go. Obviously it's got a little bend in it because this is only 2mm, so you can't push that down when you bolt it. And you can take the Shoprine one. Let's see if it fits on there. Probably not quite that one, because the bolt holes are a little bit different there. But yeah, you can put your FIGS INC nameplates on your new Shoprine, which is pretty cool. And back over there and back on there. Let's take a look at some detail. So there we got the standard FIGS INC brass 2mm press plates. Very shallow. Obviously all the globe and the crown and the wrestlers are all stacked. Like relief plates on the top. And even the conches, this is where the bolts are actually below these. So they're actually completely removable. Then we got the FIGS INC. There's that detail. This one, obviously, everything's been made as one. So the wrestlers, the crown, the globe, the lettering, everything is just made as one. Obviously, the nameplate's different. You can see the nameplate holes are completely different compared to the Shoprine. Pull the Shoprine off, obviously they're towards the middle, so they aren't compatible, unfortunately. It's a shame because they do custom nameplates, Fandu. This one's a Ric Flair one, which I do believe they're just letters that have been glued on. Very hard to see there. You can see the letters. You can see like that rope border there. So it doesn't go completely around the plate, but that is somewhat accurate. Then you try to look at this one, the Shoprine. It's like a sort of a border that runs sort of all the way around there. Here's the Shoprine. Just got a slightly different shade of gold on it. It's got like this somewhat of a matte finish. You can sort of see there, it's very, doesn't have much of a shine on it. So when you compare it to like the Luxe, it's got a bit of a shine. Sort of reflecting light there and in the shade, whereas the Shoprine sort of, see there, it doesn't show as much. Crazy detail in the Shoprine for the price point. You can see that detail there. So I think these were going for $4.49 on shop. And then you had the Luxes, they were going obviously on the real leather, so that was the strap that the Luxe was originally on. And then I put it on a, it's sort of very hard to see this, but you see compared to that black strap there, this is on a Cordovan brown. There you go, crafted by Paul Martin. So it's obviously a send out strap, so you can see the bolts there. Got that nice white stitch, that Cordovan brown. Obviously, Paul's leather is beautifully soft. Shoprine's just obviously the standard replicas, but they are covered this time. And then this one I've obviously just added onto this belt so the holes weren't in line at all. So just as a display piece, I still have the original strap, the 2006 stamped strap, so just in quite bad condition these days. So you can sort of see the three different etching depths. Sort of see like the nugget texture on the Fandu is quite different to the Shoprine. Shoprine is it's similar. It's kind of more of like a longer grainy effect. That's more of like a nuggety kind of texture. You can sort of see the floral pattern is more sort of spaced out. There's just a tiny bit more space between the floral with that sort of nuggety texture. There in between the two. Whereas on the Shoprine, like nuggety around the sort of the wrestlers and the World Heavyweight Champion banner, the globe on the nameplate. Then it comes in between. It's got that sort of like dotted pattern. You can see the dotted pattern around there, which is consistent with the original. The wrestlers, you can see the globe, the crown, they're all relief pieces. You compare them to the Luxe. You can see the Luxe has that, see it's all been molded as one. Even the wrestlers, there's no gap there at all. As you look over here, you can see how they're distinctively sort of sitting on top of the nugget texture. And as for the depth, here's probably a good shot. Very hard to see who's deeper. The Fandu's probably got slightly more depth to it, I suppose. Very similar thicknesses in plate. compared to that. The Luxe definitely is more heavier. I think it is the traditional, I think it was 8.7 pounds. So that's distinctively heavier than the Shoprine. Shoprine's still got a good weight to it. Solid plates. You can see the curve there. Quite flat on the Shoprine. A little bigger on the Luxe. I've obviously given a curve to the FIGS, so that won't be a completely accurate representation. The FIGS always had the wider side plates. You can sort of see these two, the wrestlers, he's throwing that way and this one's throwing that way. Throwing that way, throwing that way. So they've just mirrored. They mirrored this one. Whereas on the traditional WCW one, see they're all throwing the same way. Whereas that one, he's just throwing that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. So, you see there, he's all throwing the same way. Stones on the crown, they're very similar. Probably just slightly darker on the Shoprine. It's obviously hard to see because of the light and that, but yeah, they're not too bad. The crown ones in particular shine a lot. I don't know if you can sort of see that, but see how it's got like a bit of a shine to it? You know, definitely a bit of a shine, like when you put a light sort of near them. You get that shine. I'll try it on the Luxe. Yeah, not so much. I have done a crown modifications when you compare the crown. So these normally come like that's all painted gold. So I've just added chrome paint pen in between and then find it off with a toothpick just to get into those intricate areas. So it's pretty good on the Luxe. Like when you compare the FIGS, FIGS is very plain. Luxe is slightly better. Compare the Shoprine, it's just got more of the accurate details. You can sort of see like this part of the crown here, those two little openings. Then on this, they're not so pronounced. They're sort of like filled in. Accuracies on the globe. It's more so like these little islands here. Nothing really there. And when you look over on the Shoprine, you've got those little islands there and then a couple up there. Whereas you didn't have them over there. And then the FIGS. FIGS is sort of shows them, but obviously not as neat. Still relief pieces on that one, obviously. Then you've got like the little carving marks. See the little carving marks here, there, there, there. The Luxe just doesn't have those at all. It's more of just a florally sort of pattern. Yeah, the text is obviously very consistent. This has been one of the flaws of the Shoprine, but very consistent text. You see there. You come onto the Shoprine. The text is probably just a little bit easier to see. It's probably just the shade of gold on the background that's kind of making it sit a bit better. You can see World Heavyweight is one height. The main difference you can see is this letter E here. Then you look at this one, see how they look completely different. This one's nice and tall, this one's been squashed. So the wrestling champ is one size. And you can see that ION is about maybe 3 millimeters shorter in height on the top. Between the two, they're probably another 3 or 4 millimeters different in height. The only thing about the floral part that slightly stands out is just that little blob there and that little blob there. Looks a little strange, but they did try to get some of that accuracy with the floral. It had the sort of grain through it, or the lines. There's a few little bits like that they've tried to incorporate. And this, obviously, they didn't include any of that. It's more like a flat edge, but it's quite it's a little more 3D, I suppose, like especially where they got these sort of leaves and stuff like that. They sort of raised off and then they dipped down in the middle, and whereas the Shoprine, yeah, it's obviously just a different process. I'd say they're all cast, they're obviously all cast ones. So there'll always be different things in casting processes. See, the conches are slightly different with the holding the crown on the stones there, the rubies. There's obviously just that extra line of silver around this one, rather than this one sort of more together. And they're obviously a little bit bigger on the Shoprine. See the border there, compared to the Shoprine border. So yeah, the Shoprine one is pretty nice. 2 or 3 together again. There's the FIGS and the LUXE. Shoprine and the LUXE. And those two, very different. Yeah, all in all, they're pretty good. And there they are, all 3 together. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me which one's your favourite down in the comments. Thank you for watching.